Hello, this is Steve Shaw from the Training and Special Operations Bureau. This month's Fire Video PO will be covering SOPs 515 on elevator emergencies and SOP 511 high-rise fires, specifically the Phase 1 and Phase 2 operations of elevators. This will set us up for the hands-on training we have planned for May through August of 2017 on hands-on elevator operations. This will also set the stage for our high-rise drills we plan to do starting in September through December of 2017. Hope you enjoy the video. To receive full credit for this month's Fire PO, you must watch the May 2017 Fire PO video on elevator operations and emergencies, read through SOP 515 and 511, review all tools and equipment on suppression units related to elevator emergencies, such as the Region 7 key, elevator drop keys, etc., and then take the associated quiz at the end of the video through the Learning Management System.
Elevator operations and control are an imperative portion of a high-rise fire. If we cannot ensure the elevator can get up and down from the fire floor efficiently with crews, the incident will be prolonged and fire has a chance to grow. We're going to cover a couple of the simple operations on how to use the elevator.
The District 7 key is located on the key ring with the Knox box key. To remove this key, you must put in your individual Knox box number. As of 2009, all buildings 6 stories or more are required to work with a uniform elevator key.
It's important that the first-in crews establish elevator control in any high-rise fire. This is imperative to get crews up to the fire floor as efficiently and quickly as possible. This can be done using the District 7 elevator key in most buildings. If you're the member assigned to elevator control as part of the first alarm response, we recommend you bring an additional air cylinder and ensure you have the halogen with you at all times. This is in the event the elevator fails while going to or returning from the fire floor. This way you'll have a tool to possibly self-extricate yourself and an extra bottle to buy time in case of a smoke situation inside of a stalled elevator car. If you're the member assigned to elevators, the first thing we need to do is recall all elevators to the first floor. This can be done by inserting our fire service key into the fire service key outlet and turning in the fire service into the on position. By doing this, it will recall all elevators on that bank down to the first floor. This will also bypass any type of fob or security system that the elevator is equipped with. It's important to recall all elevators to the first floor to ensure that no more civilians will try and use the elevators as a means of egress, that no persons are trapped or blocking an elevator car from returning to the first floor, and to ensure that the firefighters have enough elevators to make it up to the fire floor. Once we've put the elevator into the on fire service position and all cars have been accounted for, we can now make entry into the elevator with the first crews and make our way up. At this point, we're going to remove the elevator key, bring it inside the elevator, and turn the inside portion of the elevator into the fire service position. After we've put the exterior fire service into the on position, it's time to turn the actual individual elevator car to fire service. Do this by inserting the key and turning to the on position. This elevator is now in fire service mode, which I know because I'm in the on position and our fireman's helmet is lit. At this point, we have full control of the elevator. We must determine what floors we're going to stop at. A general rule is if the building is under 7 stories, we take the stairs. If it is over 7 stories, we'll use the elevator. If the fire is on the 15th floor, our final destination will be floor 13, 2 floors below the fire. However, we should do a smoke check every 5 floors. This is very imperative in taller buildings. For example, if the fire was on the 25th floor of a 29-story building, the chance of smoke pancaking down and filling the elevator shaft with smoke is very high. So we're going to stop every 5 floors to ensure that we don't get to the floor below the fire, have the doors open, and get overcome with smoke. So in this situation, if we were going to floor 15, our first destination will be floor 5. For this application, since it's only a 2-story building, we're going to select floor 2 once the door is closed. I'm going to manually close the door. If I release before it's fully closed, the door will come open. Once the door is fully closed, I can select the floor I want to go to. In this situation, it'll be floor 2. each floor too, the doors will not open until I tell the elevator to open the doors. In this situation, we would be hopefully 2 floors below the fire floor. If I go to open the door and see something I don't like, I can release and the door will slam shut. When opening the door, ensure you hold the button down until the door fully opens. Now that we're on the desired floor, and the door is fully open and locked open, we want to put the elevator on hold. At this point, all crew members can exit and begin their tactics on the floor desired. Now that we've made it to the 2nd floor below the fire, and all crews have exited, as elevator control, you have a responsibility to bring the elevator back to the 1st floor for additional crews to make their way up. This can be done in 2 ways. 1, manually bring the elevator back down and riding with the elevator car. This is the preferred method. In situations where there is more than one elevator key available, like when the District 7 key is being used, you as the elevator operator, in coordinates with command, can send the elevator back down empty. This can be done by taking the elevator and putting it from the on position to the off position and removing the key. When this is done, the elevator will manually return to the 1st floor, and once it reaches the 1st floor, the doors will open. Now that we're back on the 1st floor, the doors will open, and other crews arriving on scene can now use the same elevator car.
All right, so we've discussed phase 1 and phase 2 operations of an elevator during a high-rise fire. Next, we'll discuss Article 515, which deals with elevator emergencies, or somebody that's stuck or trapped in an elevator car or in a hoistway. Before we actually go through the procedure in getting somebody out of an elevator car, I just want to point out a couple components to the elevator, as well as some different places where you can kill power to the elevator car. So starting right here, this is the hoistway door. You'll see this door in the lobby and at each subsequent floor that the elevator stops at. We're going to use our elevator drop key right now to access the pit. We're just going to put our drop key in the keyhole. We're going to contact the rollers and open up the hoistway door. Now at this point, it's probably best to just chalk this door in the open position so that you can have access to the pit. The black line that you see down right here in the hoistway is the 110 power, which runs the fans and the light to the elevator car. So right here we're looking for the pit switch, which is one of the places that we can kill power to the elevator. The pit switch is typically located within reach at the ground or lobby level of the building, and it's marked with a round stop button. Occasionally you'll find it as like a light switch or something, but it's always got to be red per code. So we'll go ahead and find our stop switch and we'll depress it, which will kill power to the elevator. It will keep lights and fan on to the elevator through this black 110 cable, but operationally the elevator will be stopped. Again, this is also called the elevator pit. Below me you'll have the spring buffers that the elevator actually seats on, and you also have the pistons, which in a hydraulic elevator would actually is what drives the elevator up and down. The second method for killing power to an elevator car is via the inspection switch, which is located on the top of the elevator car. There's 3 different positions on this switch: inspection, run, and stop. In its typical operating mode, it will be in the run position. We want to flick it down into the stop position, which is going to kill power to the motor here, or the controller on top of the elevator car, and allow us to defeat the restrictor and get the patients or the victims out. It also has an inspection switch, which is for elevator techs to actually service the elevator. Alright, so we learned how to kill power via the pit switch and also on the top car inspection switch. Our third method is actually going to be in the machine room itself. So this happens to be a hydraulic elevator. The machine room on a hydraulic elevator is typically on the ground level. If it was a traction or roped elevator, you would find it on the top floor or even on the roof. With this elevator here, you have the main power supply to the elevator car itself. We have this in the off position, and this is our 110 power, which runs the lights and the fan, and we keep this in the on position. Additionally, if we do have to take somebody out of a stalled elevator car, we are on an elevator emergency. One of the things that we can do before we actually take them out is try to reset whatever problem has occurred with the elevator. So we can come in the machine room, turn this off for about 30 seconds, see if it will reboot or reset itself, and then turn it on. Then we'll try to call that elevator down to the lobby, and that prevents us from having to go the extra step and actually removing them from the elevator car. This is a much safer method. One other component to the elevator that I'd like to discuss is the interlock. So the interlock is what prevents the public from opening the hoistway door and potentially slipping into an open shaft. We have to defeat the interlock to be able to open this hoistway door. How we do it is with this drop key. The drop key is going to go in the elevator keyhole. It's going to contact the rollers. When you flip the rollers, it's going to break that contact with the interlock and allow you to open this door. So what we'll do is we'll put this key back in. We'll spin it until we contact the rollers. And then we'll be able to open this hoistway door and give us our elevator car door. You'll see in this video exactly how it works from the back side of the door so you can get a better picture. A final piece of equipment is the restrictor. The restrictor is what prevents the public or people that are riding inside the elevator car from opening the car door and falling down an open elevator hoistway. So how the restrictor works is this is the clutch. The restrictor is going to fall into a groove here and not allow this door to open. If the public was inside here, they would pull, it would lock in a groove, and then we couldn't open it at all. So we're going to have to defeat this to get past this restrictor. So all we're going to do is push in on the clutch. That's going to keep this in the open position. As we pull back, it leaves it open until it hits this track right here, and now we can open the door completely. On some elevators, we have to push this and also spin the wheel. Otherwise, it will want to fall into the groove. Depending on where the elevator actually rests, you may actually have to get a pike pole in there, push on the clutch, and spin the wheel, and that's how you open the door. So we know the three places that we can kill power to the elevator and some of the general components to the elevator. Next, we'll look at the different tools that we need to take up to an elevator emergencies call. For the captains, they're going to take the District 7 elevator key and the Knox box key out of the engine. They're going to take a 6-foot roof hook as well as a light. For the driver, he's going to take a light 6-foot roof hook. He may need an attic ladder if we are going to eventually take somebody out of the top of the elevator car. And he's also going to need his set of elevator keys to get into the elevator car. For the fireman's going to take a set of irons. He's going to take a rope bag as well as taking a light. So we've learned about some components to the elevator as well as the three places where we can kill power. Now we'll talk about actually taking people out of a stalled elevator car. So the first thing we want to do is we want to arrive and we want to take whatever tools we're going to need for the job. We want to meet with building maintenance or somebody on scene that knows exactly where the people are stuck. I'll go ahead and leave somebody down at lobby level, and I'll take my firemen up with the tools to see what's going on. Once I make contact with the victims and where they're stuck in the elevator, I'm going to call down to my driver and see if he can put the elevator into phase 1 service mode to see if we can drop this elevator all the way down to the lobby. That prevents us from having to go through defeating the interlock and the restrictor and gaining access to the elevator car and potentially putting these victims in more harm's way with an open hoistway. If that doesn't work, we'll go ahead and go to the machine room and we'll kill power to this elevator car for 30 seconds. That allows us to see if we can reset the elevator and drop it down to the lobby. If that doesn't work and an elevator tech is a distance away and we feel like it's the right thing to do to take these people out of the elevator car, then that's what we're going to go ahead and do. If somebody has a medical condition or something else, then we absolutely need to take them out as soon as possible. If we can call an elevator tech at this point and they're only a couple minutes away, you're probably better off just waiting for them and letting them do it versus risking the hazards associated with taking somebody out of the elevator car if it's stuck between floors. Due to the fall hazards if you're taking somebody off the top, or the open hoistway when the elevator is stuck in between floors and you're trying to take them out this way. So I'll go ahead and open up this hoistway door now to see where this elevator is stuck. Drop key goes into the keyhole, contacts the rollers, interlock is defeated. We'll open the hoistway door. Go ahead and take our wedge that hoistway door in the open position, and now we see that our elevator is stuck in between floors. I don't see my restrictor or my clutch, so I know I'm going to have to access that from the top floor. And I do have an open space here that, if we took victims out this way, could potentially fall into this open hoistway. So what I would want to do is block this open hoistway with something. Once we get this door open, I'm going to try to put a fireman inside the elevator after power secured, of course, and also have 2 members down here to guide the patients out to prevent them from falling in this open hoistway. So since I can't get past this restrictor from the ground level, I'm going to go ahead and go to the floor above and go ahead and make access up there. I can call down to my driver right now and make sure that he can kill power in the pit, or if we've done it like I talked about in the past, where we would kill power for 30 seconds and see if it will reset. If it didn't reset, we'll just leave power in the off position, leaving the 110 power, which runs the lights and the fan, on to keep the patients calm inside. Okay, so we make our way up to the next floor and we realize this is where the elevator car is stopped. So what we're going to do is make sure power is secured, call over to the driver, make sure he either hit it in the pit or shut it off in the machine room, and now we can go ahead and make access to the elevator car. So we tell the people inside, hey, we're gonna get you out. We're gonna have to defeat this restrictor. So basically, it's right in this location here. This little thing is gonna drop into its slot, and it's going to prevent these doors from opening right here. So all we have to do is pick this up, come over. Now we're going to be able to access this car door. All right, so one of 2 ways. If they can come up this way, that's fine. If it's easier for them to get out on the floor below, we can get them out that way. We just have to have everybody in place to be able to facilitate them getting out of the car safely. If for whatever chance, maybe the floors are a little bit longer or what have you, you can't get them out via this floor or the floor below, and you actually have to take them out of the top, that's going to constitute a TRT response. So anytime anybody gets up on top of the elevator car to pull somebody out, that's past what a normal engine company is going to be able to do. And we're going to go ahead and initiate that TRT response. When they get here, they're going to set up some kind of rope operation to prevent anybody from slipping into that open hoistway. They're going to be always going to be tied off on the top of the car, and then we're going to use an attic ladder or something else to facilitate movement of the patients from inside the car, up on top of the car, and then out on top of the floor. Okay, so once we extricate or remove all of our victims from our stalled elevator car, what we want to do is close the elevator car door, close the hoistway door, and keep power off to this elevator car. We can red tag the main kill switch in the machine room, just indicating that this elevator is going to be out of service. We want to respond out an elevator tech to assess the situation and figure out what's wrong with the elevator and let him put this elevator back in service. We want to make sure that we tell building maintenance that this elevator is going to be out of service until a tech comes out and fixes whatever problem caused the car to stall. I hope you guys were able to learn a thing or two about elevators during the video. I look forward to doing the hands-on training regarding elevators during the summer of 2017, as well as a hands-on high-rise drill at the end of the year. Everybody go out there and train and be safe.